welcome to Simply Motsoka. This is your collaborative hub channel where we share a lot of insights in the medical world. Today we're going to be covering the topic of medical billing, basically how to set up your medical practice. And we are continuing with the story of a neurologist. Now, continuing with a neurologist, we're going to play it as a story. Now, there is a Dr. Poppy who has always been in medical school. She is now finished with her, with her degree, and now she's completed with her undergrad as a neurologist. And she has already worked in the state, and she is now ready to open her medical practice. Dr. Poppy, where do you want to open your medical practice? That is the first question that Simply Motsoka and the likes of her will ask you. Now she wants to open her practice. We've established the area called Pretoria. Now we're going to first start with that planning phase. Remember, we're still in the planning phase. We're still getting to research. We're still getting to do a lot. What are the market trends in that area? It's actually the same even in property. As you know, I am a property investor, okay? So which area? The area is Pretoria. What is the research around Pretoria? Pretoria has how many people? What type of patients are you looking for? Do you want to target people like me? Do you want to target people who are older? Or it doesn't matter because you are starting. So you will have to think about those things. However, when you're starting, to be honest, you don't really know because you cannot control what type of people get sick, remember. But I'm going to break it down like that so that there is some sort of a flow. Okay, we've done the research, we've done the market trend. Let's assume now you've kind of have that in detail. Now you know the demographics of your area, just like in property. This is the area. Pretoria is so big. Maybe I want to be in a hospital, or I want to have a house that I need to rent out. Of course, you call people like me because I have a company called Vasati Property Group. The team will send you the link down below so that you can see some of the videos there. Where do you want to set up your medical practice? Do you want it in a house where you are sharing that space with other people outside of a hospital? Do you want it in a hospital? If it's a hospital, do you want sessional rooms, or do you want to have your own rooms? Let me tell you some exciting news of why sessional rooms are the best for people that are starting up. Mostly hospitals, they have somebody who is a manager or a marketing manager who goes out to look for doctors to come and work in their hospitals. They will call you majority of the time and invite you in. It all really depends. If you're a new doctor, for example, that's where you want to start. Even doctors that have been in the game for a long time, they still really like working in sessional rooms. It's just that you're sharing a space with other doctors, and usually it's rent-free. You see why it's very important. But you could be an exclusive one. Maybe you already, let's assume you've got your business plan by now. You've tabulated your goals, you've done your budgeting and everything, and you just want to have your own rooms because you want to, design it in a nice way with a nice background like what I have. Having your own, you don't want to share your own space with anybody. Now that's where you're going to have your own offices in a hospital. Majority of doctors, they prefer to have that office in their room because it's right there, it's very close. But you can still have your practice outside of a hospital. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing, it depends on what type of a doctor you are. In the story, it's a neurologist. Majority of neurologists, they really want to be inside a hospital because it's kind of a complicated profession, okay? And sometimes people who come there, majority of the time, to be honest, they are very sick. I have seen it. It's mostly very sick people. So they want to have that speed of rushing the patient quickly into the hospital. But I will advise that even if you're not inside a hospital, try and be at least within 10 or 5 kilometers from the hospital and do some sort of arrangements on rushing your patients there if need be, okay? Now, in a medical practice that is in a hospital, you're going to pay rent, okay? Of course you pay rent, but in a sessional room, it's for free. And those are the differences between a sessional room versus having a medical practice in a hospital. Obviously, if you go outside, it's kind of obvious you need to pay for rent. And that is where you call people like me to help you find that type of a property in case you don't have it. Now that you've decided where you want to practice, and it's in a hospital, sessional room or rented, honestly doesn't really matter. What is the demand of the type of patients that you want to target? If you know what the demand is are you in demand in that area? Of course, now you are in the area, you need to really know, because you could be there with your fancy office, with all your equipment, and with 0 patients. That is a very critical thing to first start with, okay? It's gonna be on your business plan anyway, or on your whatever that you have written down. I mean, by now we're establishing that you are a doctor, you went to school for so many years. You should have already tabulated what are your goals, or those things. Just like what you do in your personal space, okay? You have a budget, like if you're earning a certain amount, what is your budget? Now, going back to the demand of service, the demand of clients, the demand of you. Remember supply and demand, guys, right? I'm not an accountant or an economist, but that is very important. Now, what is the potential growth in that area? Who are your competitors? Very, 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 very important to know, Mr. Neurology, Mrs. Neurology, or whatever doctor you are. How many specialists in that area that you are competing in are there? Okay, that is very critical for you to also determine that. However, what I've already seen or what I've observed is that, to be honest, flooded or not flooded, it's all about the patients. It's all about what we patients like. It's all about the nurturing of you as a doctor. Madam or Mr. Receptionist, this is where you critically play a role, okay? When a patient walks in, how you greet them on the phone, how you greet them verbally, all of that counts for you to be able to compete. Understand that running a medical practice is not that you're a doctor, you will have patients, you'll make money. Also, your skill kind of has to be good, but I can't go into those details because I'm on the admin side of things, I'm on the consulting side of things. I'm the one who advises you, who gives you guidance, and I also collaborate with other people, by the way. So I'm backed up by quite a lot of people that are also doing some things like me as well, okay? So we look into those things, we check the demand in the area, we check who's my competition, what is the potential growth in that area, can I actually compete in this area, how many of us and how much are they charging. All those things we look into detail. This is kind of pretty easy, to be honest, if you really sit down and you think about it, but it's not so easy actually, because you have to really have to make sure that you tabulate it. Understand that running a medical practice is like basically running your own business. The point of this channel is to also show doctors that, please, do take your medical practice like a professional business. Do take it seriously. Receptionist, do take it seriously. Accounts lady, do take it seriously. Accountant, it doesn't matter, because you can be starting with one person. You can have a team of 10. It could be a shared practice where it's different practices. I just cannot remember the term right now. Sorry, I had a brain freeze. But there is a concept where multiple doctors, they come in and they run a practice. Each and every person works for themselves. They share that space as well. So honestly, I can go very deep and go into it like I'm diving into a pool. So basics, one doctor, one receptionist, for example, or you going up, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is get those basics done, which I call the foundational stuff that you need to make sure you set them up as a doctor. When you are hiring, also make sure that you hire people that can represent you well. Those people must tune into this channel so that they can learn some of these basics and the etiquette of it, and then maybe you contact me if you want more. In our next episode, we're going to be continuing further on this topic of setting up your medical practice. Dr. Poppy has done a lot of work. She has done everything that we have spoken about, her research, her business plan. She has planned. She decided that she wants to be in a hospital in her own rooms. She got her wallpaper and her furniture in it. However, she needs the most critical thing, which is a staff, which is an employee. And she also needs something else called equipment. Thank you for tuning in. This is your girl, Simply Motsoka. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and do like it and share it with your friends. Next time.